Hello folks and welcome back to the channel. We welcome you back at the final race for the Le Mans series for our grinding process at Le Mans. We sit inside the Mark IV race car, typically what you would know as by Carroll Shelby and Ken Miles. Ken Miles was depicted in the movie as the hapless driver who always had the ability to bring out a win no matter from his rough engineering style and his true grit behind the wheel. The movie depicts Carroll Shelby fighting continuously with Ford over development of the rights as a privateer for the car against the ability for Ford to pitch a manufacturer's team and take the win. Carroll Shelby worked diligently with this team to produce a car that would be capable of winning the race, only to be usurped in the race by the team actually manufacturing their own outcome according to the movie. Well, that's not going to count for us today because we're going to test out this car and see how it competes as a grinder. And then the final for the series, the finale, we will go to the road and we will pitch our own custom race and try and project where this car gets to against the P300 P4 Ferrari car and see actually who would have run the race in our GT7 world. We'll see you at the car setup screen. Here it is, the Mark IV race car from 1967. It was supercharged with a PP of 699.99, as close as you can get to the 700 without hitting it. 619 brake horsepower, so a little bit more power than the pre-330, the 330 P4. Racing hard tyres, fully customizable suspension, which comes fixed on the car because it's a race car. Nothing amended, fully customizable diff, which we set to 555. Front and rear aero tuned to meet the performance of the car. You can't change anything that's on the car. It has what it has. 144 at the front and 199 at the rear. Fully customizable ECU. We have 50 kilo at the front. Power restrictor is set to 100 and manual transmission to get the PP down at 330. Racing intercooler, supercharger high-end torque, fixed racing silencer. We can't do anything with that. Normal brake pad, so we just have to be cautious about braking this thing. It's got discs, which is all the better, and a brake controller. No clutch flywheel or prop shaft. We haven't got the titanium con rods and pistons installed, but we do have the racing crankshaft, and we have increased body rigidity. Let's get to the track. Here we are, the World Touring Car 700s for the final race of this series at this race venue. The final race will be done in a custom race. Settings for this race are as always: traction control 1, default ABS, ASM on and counter steer assistance on strong. Controller settings: steering sensitivity 5, force feedback max torque 5, force feedback sensitivity 6. They are my personal settings and I use a G29. If you use a G29, see how they suit you. If not, choose your own. I really want to get stuck straight into this one, folks. This is something of a car I've wanted to use and I know it's going to be good. I just don't know how good, so let's go and see. So fuel map to 6 to start with. Let's see what we can get out of it. In comparison to the 330 P4, this car is a little less frugal with its fuel. It likes to drink it, but the Ferrari is mighty stingy. It goes really well on the fuel. This is pretty stable, this car. And what I do like is the gearbox clunk. It hasn't got the engine note of the Ferrari at all, and having that Ferrari in front of us is just teasing. However, as we charge down the straight now, we're just managing to avoid everybody else, hoping we don't get penalised for that transition across that white dotted line. If it was a solid line, I'm sure we would get penalised. Where are we going to get to? 185 maybe more? Into the draft of Mr. Gallo. 194 miles an hour, that's rapidly quick. And slightly faster than the 330. Up into 12th place. 3 laps of fuel, so we're not going to get 4 laps out of this. It's going to be 3 laps then. Let's have a look at the rain radar. I know we're prepping up early, but let's see where we go. Lots of black smoke off Mr. Lopez there. Mr. Hazal likes to tap the back end of cars. In the AI variant, I'm not entirely sure about the... I'm sure Mr. Hazal is a truly clean racer in real life. His AI represents him poorly, one would assume. So up into 8th, 9.1 seconds behind Mr. Blazan, the leader. Miss McEwen in 2nd, Portilla in 3rd. Not sure at all who's in 4th place. But Mendoza in Mr. Kawakami. Oh, we can see Mr. Mr. Healy. Can we see who's next? Oh, it's Miss. No, who's that? Is that Kawakami? No, it's not Kawakami. I've raced this so often I can't remember who's in the Supra. It's Yamanaka in 4th. We're now up to 5th, but Healy is down to 6th. Sorry, Kawakami's behind us. Then Healy's in 7th, and Mr. Mendoza in 8th. Made a right mess of that, didn't I? There we go. We'll give you that again as we end the lap. Yep, we're only going to get 3 laps out of this bad boy. That gear change is so sweet. Listen to that clunk. That's so precise. It's lovely. So passing Yamanaka for 4th place at the end of lap 1. Got that really well turned in. Miss McEwen's taken the lead of the race. Oh, a 409. So good job this thing is going to be more than a one-stopper. Unless the rain comes, of course. That forces us to slow down, but I don't think it will. There's nothing on the radar as yet. Doesn't wholly mean anything, but we're only on lap 2. Come on, Mr. Portilla. Faster car and all that. I know that means absolutely no difference because it was a blue flag. It wasn't a blue flag situation. That was racing for position. But as we come charging down the straight again, where are we going to get to? 190 miles an hour. So, faster lap time seems to be being achieved by this car than the P330, or P4, sorry. I always call it the P330, P4. Always do that double name thing, because I get it wrong every time. Where are we going to turn into here as we chase down Mr. Blazan? Still got beautiful clear skies in the lunchtime air. Took us on the inside there, did Mr. Blazan, but We'll get him on top speed. Oh, little nudge there. That was my fault, I guess. Not going to reach for the drink just yet. So Miss McEwen leading the race. We're just going to dispatch that quite comfortably. Rain appears to the south of the circuit. .6 laps of fuel, so do we think we'll get the third lap in before we need to stop for gas? So the end of lap 2 as we just concentrate to get the car round the end of the lap. Still mesmerised by that gear clunk. 1.4 seconds ahead is as far as we are. Miss McEwen went to the pits. Mr. Blazen now 2.75 seconds behind. We're definitely into the rain. Don't know what's coming in terms of depth or strength or quantity or volume. Fastest lap of the race at 4:08. Even 5 laps at 4:08 isn't going to beat the P330. Here comes some rain. Let's have a look inside the car and see what it's like. There we go. With the windscreen wiper on full chat. Again, right-hand gear lever. Oh, there's a surprise. Right-hand drive car. Charging down the straight. We're just going to have to really just brake in easier. Just be aware that the surface is wet. We can see the raindrops splashing on the floor. We're only 4 seconds ahead. So no major gains being made here. We do have some tremendous looking rain ahead of us. It definitely looks like the opportunity to make a pit stop. It's heavy. Oh dear, look how bad this is going to be. The rain depth is getting to the point where the intermediates will be the priority tyre. We've got incidents happening in the background. Doesn't look like it. It looks like everybody's making those turns. To lull up the storm, and then there's the big stuff coming. Oh my, that's going to be tremendous. Just got to get this into these corners and just slow it down. There's some big downpours to come. We need to get it into the pits. Look, if we overshoot there, the rain really is starting. 9 seconds ahead. This is a critical corner, this. We need to slow. See if we can make it in. Yes, we do. Off the gas. Wheel spinning. Just let it coast. I've got a funny feeling we need to go to full wets as we disappear off the track to the left. We're going to end up with masses of penalty. Yeah, 13 seconds. And a sideways drift. Oh my lord. Well, that's a wild penalty, isn't it? Let's see how we go. We're 20 seconds ahead of Mr. Blazan, which should be 40 to be honest, because of that spin. But we're just going to drag ourselves into the pits, go for the full wet tyres. We're now only 11 seconds ahead, but we've got the punishment to come. Holy hell, full wets, no choice, take all the fuel, and we're going to try and drive it to the end. I've got a feeling we'll have to come back in and put some tyres on. But we're in ahead. It says 15 seconds ahead, but we'll find out. Everybody's got to come in for tyres. There's some rotational balancing going on behind us. And it looks like some people going past the pit lane. Can that be right? Everybody's got to come in, surely. There's the full wets going on. Take all the fuel. Take everything. Get out there and stay out there. Go, go, go. Yes, the water is that deep on the track. Shock horror. Only 10 seconds ahead of Mr. Blazan, but we will do our best to open that gap up. That 13-second penalty is ridiculous, but knowing how well we can go in the rain and how poor the AI are, knowing that they probably haven't taken tyres, they're going to carry on their race tyres. Look, we've already gained 20 seconds on Mr. Blazan. He was taking a gamble on a set of hards. This is treacherous. And it looks to be coming all day. That's almost halfway through the race on lap 4. Drying out down here just a wee bit. The inter tyre is just the primary tyre. But if it rains anymore, the wet will become that tyre. And I think it is here. Yes, it is, definitely. Wets of the tyre to be on. We're now 40 seconds ahead of Mr. Blazan. This car is exceptional in the wet. He says that as he spins round multiple times, which normally happens about now. Probably going a little bit too fast, 160 mile an hour. Track's just starting to dry out. We're through that massive green patch, which really did soak the track. there's the end of the rain cloud. So whatever happens now, we're into a drying track scenario. There's a potential for more rain. We're 1 minute and 5 seconds in the lead, which will help us tremendously when it comes to working out which lap we need to be on to finish the race, that is. This car really does handle beautifully in the wet. The 330 P4 had a serious advantage in that race that it ran without no rain. While we dispense of these 13 seconds of penalties, we can see another rain bank coming in from the south. There we go, we're back on it again. No wheel spin. At 1 minute and 2 will drop away, one expects, as the race backs sort themselves out back there. Just make sure we can get around here nicely. That second rain cloud, set of rain clouds is just about to come over us now, and it'll bring its own level of rain. Nowhere near ready to change the tyres yet, so we'll just keep going. Here we are then, lap 5. Mr. Hayward's pulled in on his wets. It'd be interesting to know, so's Miss McEwen. Be interesting to know what they're going in for. I'm just casually watching this rain cloud and realising that we could just keep rolling here. The track is still wet enough to take the wets. Dropping to inters would be not profitable at this time. Make it into the corner. As we hit those curbs, the water depth goes up, look. We'll stay out here on the wet, which is quite bumpy, but will not destroy these tyres at this rate. Just keep them in the wet bit. Mr. Hayward continues on, 1 minute 24 down. Miss McEwen has changed to IMs as we change side of the road, just to pick it up. Then we're going to brake on the driest bit. Only just starting to show wear on the tyres. Handles so well in the wet, this thing. Mr. Hazal's gone to mediums. So is Mr. Healy. He's gone to hards. That's a bold change. We've still got rain coming down here at the south end of the track. Eight minutes 34 of the race remaining. Sorry, 8 minutes 30 or less. That means we're Definitely going to get into lap 7. The question is are we going to change off these wets now at the end of this lap, or go one more lap? Mr. Yamanaka's on the softs. I think we're going potentially one more lap. Although the track has dried up and the rain just keeps bitter pattering. It really is a top up, isn't it? Do we want to go? We've got no wear at all on these wets. We can run off the racing line as we need to. And we can just keep these tyres cool, we know that. And then we go for this lap, we carry on, I think. We won't be able to run this confidently. Then we pit for the last set of tyres. Need to check for fuel. 2.2. If there's any more rain, we can go for it. Not so sure there will be any more rain, but very wet down this part of the circuit. Gonna go for this 6th lap on the wets as the sun starts to come out now. Really gonna dry up the track. We can see how wet it is. So it's not ready for wets, for dry tyres yet. We're gonna keep on the wets. We're gonna run the edge of the main drag just to keep it in the wet patch. We'll dance across the track to pick up where we need to. Look how wet it is out here. We'll keep protecting these tyres as long as we can. We'll step back onto the track for the braking area, 185 mile an hour. Oh, there's a pigeon on the track there. Get over to the right hand side, stay in where the trees are for the water coming off the trees. We'll keep these tyres cool. So as we get to the end of this race, one more lap to go at the end of this one, we'll need to decide whether we're going to go in for that set of racing tyres just to blow that last lap. We now fully understand what we've got to do with the final custom race. We are going to make sure there will be a rain because we have to run it equally for the pair of competitors. Just need to do one more lap as the lap timer ticks to 4 minutes remaining. These tyres will actually do one more lap, and I think we've got the fuel. I don't think we've got anything to worry about wholly. There is no point in pitting. I don't think there's any comparison at all between the 330 P4 race and this one. purely because of the amount of rain that came down here. We've got to try and equal that up for the final race. I think we're going to give them a period of rain in the middle of the race. We want to be able to head them up. We know that the P330 or the 330 P4 will actually blow this away in the dry. We pretty much know that, I think. But we've got to match what the potential is. Oh, that's going to be a penalty, isn't it? Just letting the car roll wide. And again, that wasn't good. Tyres are going to be good. Don't want any penalties. I don't think we gained anything from that. 1.1 of fuel. Try and keep the car on the hards, on the wet bit. Try and preserve those tyres to some degree. Approach the corner on the wet patch. So, what do we think? I think it's a stunning car. The sound is there. It's going to be a capable grinder. I don't think it's as fast as the 330 P4. It is in a straight line, but in terms of cornering speed and the fact that it doesn't have to pit the 330 P4, that makes it just a more capable car. But the head-to-head is going to be good. We know we're going to have to make the options with both cars. Mr. Hayward goes to the pits. He's going to take off his IM. So does Miss McEwen. How have those guys got on who have been running the slick tyres? They shouldn't have to pit now. They should be charging through the pack, loving all this. On the wets, we're still coping beautifully. Just dusting these tracks, these tyres off. Trying to keep them cool. Mr. McEwen's finished because the clock's gone to 0. So whilst they were in the pit lane, that pair of competitors were curtailed their race. So it looks like there's only one real runner left. That's Mr. Hayward. Mr. Hayward has passed the pit lane before it started. Absolutely fine. So this car is going to lap everybody. It's going to have the fastest lap of the race at 4:08, which is quicker than the P4 330. But overall, this race is going to be something of a 2 minutes slower. The water was really deep there as we went through that corner. Just spun up the rear wheels there just to give the crowd something. And that prophecy comes true. Everybody else has now finished the race. We're 2 minutes 15 ahead of Mr. Hayward. This is going to be an easy victory, and it just confirms the capability of this vehicle. Now, according to the racing law, the race from Ford versus Ferrari. This was a Ford victory, with Ford manufacturing its own finishing positions, according to the movie, that is, where they arranged the factory cars to win the race and not the privateer entry of Mr. Shelby. So I don't know what we're going to be able to do with the final race. We're going to put it all down to how GT7 works and reacts. But with that, this is a great car. One, if you've not got it in your arsenal, look out of it. It's in the Legends shop, or will be. And it's one that will absolutely, you can grind millions of credits for this thing quite happily. Really drivable car. And there she is, just about to run out of fuel. 32 minutes down the road. Let's see what she's got. So 32 minutes and 20 seconds. 2 minutes and 18 ahead of Mr. Hayward. Everybody else finishing one lap down courtesy of the rain. Fastest lap of the race went to us at 4:08.984 on lap 2. And it takes the money, which puts us 27.9 million after we finish the exercise. We did 30 million, but we had somewhere along that way, we've bought probably 40-50 million cars since we started this grinding, as we make our way to owning every car in the game. But folks, whether this one's for you or not, that is up to you to decide. Whether you want to buy it, whether you want to go out and grind it, whether you want to put miles on a car like this, or just keep it in your garage. I know what I'm doing with it, and that's up to you, folks. We'll see you on the next one. All the best. Take care. Oh, and just before we do go, thank you very, very much for sticking with this series. I really appreciate the feedback. I really appreciate the constant, and I mean constant in a really positive way, every morning waking up to messages saying thank you and love that video. It's really appreciated. Thank you very much, guys. See you on the next one. Take care.